Today you can take your telephone, your cell phone, you can make a movie on that. And if it's a really cool movie and it's funny and it's dramatic or whatever, you can post it on YouTube.
I distinctly remember the thrill of opening the YouTube homepage or the subscription tab and seeing the latest upload from one of my favorite creators. There was this visceral excitement to it. I was not the only one who felt uplifted after watching a Casey Neistat daily vlog. It was entertainment, but it felt like you were living life alongside him, getting lost in his world. It made you reflect on your own life. It made your life feel cinematic. Casey wasn't the only creator who gave audiences that feeling. Many filmmaking YouTubers provided insight, education, packaging it with their own personality and their daily lives in a way that felt accessible and achievable. The early years of YouTube felt like an education. Amongst the viral chaos, like Charlie biting his brother's finger and other internet absurdities, there was a genuine user experience that felt reciprocal. Creator and viewer were in conversation. Communities grew from that. Comment sections were discussions. Subscriptions meant something. Your own channel with an upload button just a click away felt like an invitation. The name YouTube itself, indicative of the service it provided, it was about you. What was born was a movement. The idea of the creator emerged. An individual operating as a personality within a niche, producing reoccurring videos that provided value and built connection. Whether it was travel, education, lifestyle, or commentary, the possibilities felt endless. These creators provided value at a production pace that rivaled traditional studios and television networks. The internet became flooded with information, what would later simply be called content. Through paid partnerships and the YouTube Partner Program, creators benefited from advertising revenue, which was automatically placed on their videos. It felt like a deal too good to pass up, and the truth was that it was. Incidents involving notable YouTube names made advertisers cautious. YouTube realized it could not fully control what was uploaded or where ads appeared, and regulation increased. Corporate oversight followed. After its acquisition by Google, the parent company Alphabet, YouTube began to morph into a more tightly managed global enterprise. Still, YouTube creators adapted. Monetization evolved. The value of an online audience only increased as brands recognized the reach and influence that was available to them. The creator economy was born. A profitable ecosystem built on sponsorships, endorsements, and product placement, which had influence. And then came the influencer. The influencer was different, not simply someone who created something of value, but someone who sold the idea of themselves, their lifestyle, their image, their affiliations. Platforms like Instagram became fertile ground for curated identity. A 4x3 image could say 1,000 words, but increasingly it said just one: money. As global internet access expanded, particularly across Asia and India, the scale of participation exploded. YouTube continued to emphasize creators, but the barrier to entry quietly shifted. It was no longer enough to just upload. You had to be interesting, unique, entertaining, and different. Then everything changed. A global pandemic forced the world indoors. The internet was no longer just entertainment, it became an infrastructure. Work, social life, politics, economics, all migrated online. Hesitation towards the digital adoption disappeared overnight. Platforms grew in profitability and influence as society became dependent on them. There was another influx of users and creators, all competing for the same space. Subcultures intensified, political discourse accelerated, information spread faster than the virus itself. And then along came a platform called TikTok. Unlike its predecessors, TikTok fundamentally reshaped the media landscape. The barrier to entry collapsed. A vertical video under 30 seconds, filmed on your phone, could reach millions through an endless For You page. Cultural milestones became daily trends. Virality became routine. Creation became more democratic, but it was also disposable. The value of a video was tied to its immediacy, to relevancy, and to participation. This altered YouTube-style content. Communities became secondary to distribution. Reoccurring audiences became less important than exposure to the algorithm. The attention economy was born. Ironically, this shift benefited influencers more than traditional creators. Short-form, product-forward identity content translated easily into this new structure. Meanwhile, long-form creators scrambled to adapt. Things like podcasts and commentary channels and extended content thrived because retention became currency. Eyeballs equaled value. Then came the escalation. MrBeast style productions began dominating the YouTube space. Faster cuts, larger budgets, bigger stakes, louder thumbnails. Each video needed to outdo the last. Spectacle replaced intimacy. For the independent creator, this scale was unsustainable. Production became industrial. Branding became mandatory. Personality alone was no longer enough. At the same time, platforms themselves transformed. Meta adopted short-form prioritization. Algorithms favored what kept users online the longest, not what they subscribed to. Feeds were no longer about who you followed, but about what maximized your engagement. We had lost the original appeal of the internet, keeping up with friends and creators. These companies began building detailed personal data profiles on us, shaping feeds that amplified emotion over substance. Outrage, provocation, conflict, these held our attention longer than any sort of nuance or debate. War footage, injustice, chaos, these are all important issues that got brought to light on social media, but fed into daily life in ways that fostered helplessness and fatigue. Comment sections stopped being conversations and became battlegrounds of opinion. The internet was no longer user-friendly, it was engineered. Now with the rapid development of AI-generated content, the floodgates are opening again. Infinite production, synthetic personality, endless output. The creator once again had to evolve. But this time it feels different. People will still upload, audiences still will consume this entertainment, news and education, but the heartbeat of the internet, the feeling that it was human, is gone. The people behind and in front of the camera who made it feel possible, as if anyone could participate if they had something to share, was no longer there. The creator is no more. They are a byproduct of a system optimized for attention. There is no authenticity. The platforms we once used to share our thoughts and build communities now operate as engines of information distribution, unable or unwilling to differentiate anything meaningfully between reality and fiction. Governments, corporations, and institutions have recognized the influence these platforms hold. What follows is greater control, greater censorship, greater manipulation, not by daily vloggers, but by our corporate overlords.
Alright, so here we are, one of the elephants. Cool thing about these guys is that they have really long fronts, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say.